Most speaking coaches won't tell you this, but I'm going to share with you today the one thing that you need to understand that most people don't even understand or think is that important. What's up, guys? This is Philip Sessions, your public speaking and communications coach, here to talk to you today about the thing that you need to focus on rather than something else that most people think they need to focus on. And what is that thing? But before we get into it, I really want to tell you about the thing that most people tend to focus on first. Is when people get ready to start speaking or they want to start speaking, they realize they're not that great at speaking. They know that they can talk, but they feel like in order to get better at speaking, they simply need to get better at tonality and their body language. And so there's a couple of things within that realm that they're focused on. They want to get these advanced level details down and think that they're going to be good if they do that, because hey, I can talk, I'm good at a subject, I know a subject somewhat, or I know it very well. But the problem is they want to focus on these minor things. It's kind of like having a truck, but you don't have oil in there, but you're like, oh, well, let me make sure that the wheels are nice and shiny. Let me make sure that, there's antifreeze in there. Let me make sure that there's all these other little things which are important. Antifreeze, maybe, I don't know. I'm not a car guy. I don't know why I use that as an example, but let's go with shiny wheels, making sure that the car is bug free. It doesn't stink on the inside. All these little things that don't matter if the car runs, but if you don't have oil for the engine, it's not going to run. But too many people want to focus on the little details like tonality and body language and using the right words and looking like you have great posture, which are all important things that you want to worry about later, because who wants to have a dirty car? Who wants to have a stinky car? Who wants to be in that kind of environment? But we're just trying to drive, first of all. That's the important thing, that we need to get from point A to point B. So as long as you have a car to get you from point A to point B, it's better than not having a car at all. And so the same thing with speaking. You can focus on all these great things, the tonality, the body language, the words that you use, creating emotion within your voice. But if you don't actually have the one thing, which is a great story, which is a great message, then it doesn't matter about the rest of it. So people will listen to you if you have a great message. If you have something to teach them, they will listen. People listen to college professors all the time, maybe not in great detail because they are boring, but they realize that they need to listen to the college professor in order to learn what it is they need to learn so they can then pass the class. And okay, you can say, look, I can go on Google and learn it. I can read the textbook and learn it. I don't need to listen to them. And you're right. But people are paying, or they're paying with their time or their money to attend an event, a workshop, a conference, whatever it is, to see you speak. And so the first thing that you need to focus on is actually what you say, the message that you share. And too many people don't think about that. They think, oh, as long as I just go up there and talk, it's going to be good. So I need to focus on making sure that I'm interactive, making sure that I sound really great, that I have all this energy and I use my body language and tonality. No. And another example I like to give all the time is I've definitely heard some people that I learn from and I've learned a ton from, and they've had times where the audio on their podcast, absolute trash. And it happens from time to time. People will have bad audio. I've been there. One of my last episodes was a pre-recorded episode from somebody else from a few years back, and I know the audio wasn't that great, but I wanted to share it because there was still a great message within there, and hopefully you stayed tuned into that. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, and that just depends on how you value what I teach you as well. But I've listened to some of these podcasts and the audio is terrible. And I've had it where I'll listen to one person's and I'll grin and bear through that bad audio. And there's another person that I'm like, you know what? I don't get much value from them. I'm just going to wait for the next episode because I get enough that I'll listen to it. But it's because that was just enough annoyance that I don't get that much value from them. I tune it out. I go on to the next episode. I go on to the next podcast. And so it's the same thing for you. If your message is not good enough, it doesn't matter how great from a textbook speaker you are. If you have the great tonality and the great body language, and you can move across the stage and you can get people kind of engaged in you because of how you're looking and acting, all of that doesn't matter. It helps, but you have to have a great message first. So focus on your message before you focus on the other things. And that's really the common pitfall that I see most speakers go through, is that they think that, oh, I'm just going to focus on all these other things, the bells and whistles, so to say, and not the actual meat, which is your message. So get your message down first, and then start focusing on the body language and the tonality and all those little bells and whistles or the advanced level skills. But get that story down first.